So yeah, that was Fabled Woods. If you guys wanna buy the game to support the devs and stuff, you can use !Fabled in chat. Now is the time to do it. Yeah, I'm gonna give my my impressions of the game. So I have to keep in mind that this was made by 3 people, which is kind of both impressive and also it shows in certain areas. So the you can tell that like the graphical side of things was was pretty well done, but I feel like it had some issues. Oh, and Victor Raphael just subscribed to YouTube. Thank you so much. So it does have some issues, but at the same time, 3 people made this, so it's it makes sense. And they pushed it pretty far. They have like ray tracing and a bunch of different things which I could not enable. So keep in mind that you couldn't get the full proper version of like the proper high quality version of this. You couldn't get it because my PC can't really like process all of that stuff. And yeah, it's fairly short. It's a fairly short game. And from what I'm looking here, so the game on Steam right now is about, in Canadian dollars, it's about like almost $17. And that's with a rebate. Normally it's around $20. So keep in mind that with $20 you get, you do get the art book with it, but you don't get the soundtrack. The soundtrack is a separate amount, which is for me $3.39, which I'm assuming is probably $2.99 USD. So I feel like for the price point, I feel for the length of the game is a bit steep. This feels to me like it should have been like closer to like a $9.99, if I'm perfectly honest. I feel like a $9.99 would have been more kind of in line with what I would expect, especially for like an indie title in this day and age. So I feel like it's about like $10 too high. And because there's no real replayability either, unless you want to track the achievements. There's no like branching narrative paths. Like we tried to take a different path at the end, and it forces you down the acceptance path, which is scripted that way. But it also means that you really only get to play through this game once. You can't really play it for more than that. There were not really any kind of puzzles, all that much. Like very light puzzling. Where you had to like kind of figure out like an item you had to click on, but it was like very, very, very slight. But yeah, overall I felt the story was good. The voice acting could have used some work, but at the same time, I feel like they probably hired like people that were maybe starting out in the voice acting business. So those people might also just like I said, to be starting out, so they might be kind of amateurs. But yeah, so I would say like for all these reasons, it's a mixed bag for me. The game was fun. It was fun to play. The music was good, and the story was good. But it could have been a lot longer, and it could have had like some more like kind of branching paths and some better puzzling. So I would say like for a first effort, like maybe like a 7 out of 10 might be a good kind of landing spot for that game. Yeah, I mean that feels all right to me. We didn't get any crashes. Like the game played well. And the only issues that I had really with it were of my own making. My PC just can't process all that stuff. So yeah, I think a 7 out of 10 is kind of like it's a good landing point. So if you are interested in grabbing this game, there is a sale right now that makes it cheaper than the $20, but it ends in 16 hours. So keep that in mind. Which means that if you're watching this on YouTube, the sale might have already ended, and if not, it's gonna end very rapidly. But yeah, that was the Fabled Woods. It was a fun ride. Thank you so much, guys, for being here for that, and thank you again for Headup Games for the key. That was